So at this point, I am going to remove about 3 cups of the batter and place it in a separate bowl. To that bowl, we're going to add the melted white chocolate, and then I'm going to go in with the red food color to the batter that we have in our stand mixer. I removed the 3 cups of cake batter to add the melted white chocolate to, so now I'm going to turn the mixer back on and add the red food color to what we have left in the bowl. I know traditionally red velvet cake has cocoa powder. Because I want more of a red color and less of a brown color, I'm not going to add that, but you are welcome to add cocoa powder to this. Additionally, I prefer the red color, food color that is a liquid. I feel like you get a lot more vibrant color. This is looking more of a dark pink, so I'm going to have to see if I have any more red gel color. But the stores were wiped out, I'm guessing, because Thanksgiving just passed and everybody was making their red velvet cake. So let me try to find some more red color to add to this cake batter, and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, popping in really quickly with a voiceover. I was able to find a little more gel color, so I ended up using really what's the equivalent of an entire small bottle of the red color, and it did darken a bit more, so I'm happy with the color. So now we're going to move on to the cake batter that we set aside to add the white chocolate to. So here's the cake batter that I removed earlier. To this, we're going to add our 1/2 cup of melted white chocolate. And then I'm just going to mix that in. I opted to melt the chocolate first because I didn't want any of the chips sinking to the bottom really, and then kind of mix it in with the red portion of the cake batter. So that is all done. Now I'm going to grab the cake pan and we can go ahead and get that prepared. Here's the pan that we're going to use to bake the cake. Today I will not be using Baker's Joy or Pam to coat the pan. I'm actually going to coat the pan with butter, and then I'm going to sprinkle sugar on. I've done that plenty of times before. I am just going to start by coating the pan with a softened butter. I like using this method because it gives the crust a really nice chewy texture, and I think it's pretty. It almost looks frosted because you can see the granules of sugar on the cake even after it's baked. So now I'm going to add some granulated sugar. Here I have about a 1/4 cup. It shouldn't take all that, but we'll see. So I'm just going to toss it around just like you would if you were using flour. Just using sugar instead. So it looks like everything is pretty well coated. So I'm just going to dump this little extra sugar that we have in there. So here is our pan. I'm not quite sure why it's looking blurry. Hopefully it's not showing up too bad on camera. So now we're going to go in and alternate between adding our red velvet and then the white chocolate batter. So here I have a skewer. I'm just going to go through and do a swirl motion, trying to be very careful not to touch the bottom or sides of the pan, as I don't want to scrape any of that butter and sugar away. I'm gonna give it a tap against the counter. As I mentioned earlier, the oven has been preheated to 300 degrees. This will bake for about an hour and a half. If I have to make any adjustments to that time, I will. But as always, I'll let you guys know exactly how long it takes in my oven when I remove it. Here's the cake after 1 hour, 30 minutes in the oven. I'm gonna let it hang out in the pan for about 10 minutes and then I'll turn it out onto a cake board. So now we're about to flip the cake over. I did go through with a knife around the edges of the cake. So hopefully we will have an easy release. And we did, no sticking. I think I want the other side of the cake to be right side up, so I'm gonna flip it again. All right. So now we're gonna leave the cake to completely cool. So now we are going to make the glaze. Here I have 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. To that, I'm going to add a splash of vanilla extract, and then I'm going to gradually add heavy whipping cream until I reach my desired consistency. I don't want this to be super thin. I do want it to be a little on the thicker side. I want my sprinkles to be able to stick to the cake without just sliding off. I never really measure, just add a little at a time. You can always add more. If you found that you've added too much heavy cream, you can always add a little more powdered sugar to thicken it up some more. So this is the consistency that I want. I'm going to continue to mix off camera to work out the lumps that are still inside, but then we'll be back to cover the cake once the cake has completely cooled. All right, we are back and the cake is completely cooled. So now we are going to cover, I'd say a glaze, but it's a little more on the thicker side, like an icing somewhere in between. So again, here are the sprinkles that we're going to use. I'm just going to put some on top of the cake. I don't want to sprinkle directly onto the cake because I want to have a little more control over where everything falls. I'm trying to see if you can pick up the glitter. I don't think you can though. So I'm going to clean up the sprinkles that have fallen, and then I'll be back to give you guys a closer shot, and then we're going to cut the cake so you can see what the inside looks like. We have made it to the end of the video. Here we have our finished product, our red velvet white chocolate swirl cream cheese pound cake. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions about anything I've done, leave them down below in the comment section. I will reply. While you're here, I ask that you also please take a moment, look down below, press that subscribe button, join our family, come back for some more recipes. I did want to make a quick note. I know sometimes when you use a lot of red color, especially gel, it can tend to be a little on the bitter side, but it was not bitter at all, so there were no issues there. The cake is very moist, quite tasty. So if you guys give this recipe a try, be sure to come back, leave me a comment, and let me know what you think. As always, I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.